Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. About the only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward. While some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.
Welcome to the Think Different podcast. It is our 4th episode, guys. So happy for you guys to be joining us. Make sure you follow us on Facebook at Think Different Podcast. You can also check us out on Instagram and follow us on Twitter at Think Diff Pod. Former Apple employees here to educate the masses. Tim is on assignment in Texas. He's probably doing something Texas related. That's where he's probably at. We have a great couple things we're going to be doing today. We are going to have another Apple story, this time coming from me. And then Tim is going to talk about one of his favorite products that he has. In fact, it's his favorite Apple product that he owns. So we're going to have that today, plus the news. Please make sure you leave us feedback at the thinkdifferentpodcast.com website, and you can submit a question or a comment regarding our shows. Check out our YouTube page as well. We also do content up there, so some of the stuff you will hear on our episodes are on YouTube. And I really hope you guys enjoyed last week. We talked about Apple IDs, and we talked about one of Tim's favorite stories from the Apple Store. So we will give you some great content, but also follow it. Remember, the Apple ID problem is a very serious problem. Do not share your Apple IDs. Just don't do that. Make sure when you are listening to us on all the platforms, please leave us a review to help get our butt up to the top of the mountain. So we really need you guys to really get us out there. We're not the only voice. It's you, the Think Different universe. Hey, before you go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen, this episode is sponsored by Zune. Zune is a discontinued line of digital media products by Microsoft. Zune is in the top 1,000 sold digital media players in the world. Listen to all your Napster illegal music right here on this device. Join the more than 2 million Zuners in 2008 today by purchasing your Zune on eBay. Also, you college kids, you could be Zune masters. That's a real thing, by the way. And spread your message on all American college campuses and get free gear and host Zune parties. Join the Zune revolution. Apple's latest quarterly results are in, and they are exactly what you expect. They made money. Not surprising, just only a mere $53.8 million, no, not million, $billion in revenue. That's right. So the biggest takeaways from this was the iPhone was dipped down a little bit compared to other years. Now, this has been very common on this quarter apparently, but it wasn't the worst one. The biggest thing to walk away is that the iPhone represented less than half of Apple's overall revenue for the first time in 7 years. That's pretty amazing. However, the rest of the business is booming. So even though iPhone dipped, their services, the Mac, the iPad, the wearables. So even though the push has been for services and it was up 13% over last quarter, believe it or not, the fastest moving product is wearables, home, accessories. So that's your Airpods, that's your watch. You know, I will tell you, walking in the city every day, I see an Apple Watch on like 1 every 5 people and AirPods on 1 every 5 people. So I can tell you that this is growing a lot. Apple says that the wearables portion of the business was actually up well over 50%, and Apple TV also saw double-digit growth. Wearables, home, and accessories represented 10% of Apple's overall business, making it larger than the iPad and almost as large as the Mac. Tim Cook, of course, gloated about this with the wearables. We stuck with the wearables when others perhaps didn't, and they're in a very good position today to keep playing out what's next there, he said. Meanwhile, services has become an enormous business for Apple, accounting for 21% of total revenue. That is incredible. There is no data regarding the Apple News subscription, and I'm sure that's not the biggest thing that's going on, but the next service that's coming out for them is going to be the Apple Card. And they stated in this financial result that they expect that the Apple Card will be available in August. So basically, by the time this is up, either it's already out or sometime this month it will be out. Another big note was in the rumors that the Mac Pro may not be made here in the United States. Well, Tim Cook squashed that, saying that we are working and investing in the capacity to perform Mac Pros built here in the United States. That's how they've been doing it with the first Mac Pro with the garbage can. And today, guys, if you haven't looked at your stock levels, if you are an investor like I am, you saw your stock jump up today. So overall, the results are positive. People are happy about it. The iPhone dip was probably the most damaging part of their results. Any other company that talks about their quarterly results does not state exact amount of units sold. They're always going to tell you how much they made in revenue. When people found out last year that the iPhone was not going to be announced, the stock tumbled because people freaked out like, oh, their numbers are not going to be as good. But the numbers were just fine. It came right back up, and there's nothing to worry about. Okay? Check out 9to5mac.com, guys. You can check out them. They broke the article down pretty well as far as their breakdown of everything that happened, if you really want to learn more about it. We'll also post it on our Facebook and Twitter. They're already up there, so if you haven't taken a look down the feed, you can see the articles that we published regarding Apple's quarterly results. But really, you can't argue the fact that they didn't make money, that they beat expectations, that it's not their services that are growing the most, it's their wearables. You know, people are starting to wear the Apple Watch and finding the benefits of it. My wife bought an Apple Watch for her heart rate, and she, uses it for walkie-talkie when we're separated in Walmart, but we use it, and it's a really powerful tool. And I think that the wearables are just going to keep going up. And I can tell you guys, when it comes to holiday this year, they are going to be rapidly moving. And I think people are going to be, with the Apple TV service coming out, more Apple TVs are going to be sold. You're going to see the Airpods grow even more. I think for the third year, they're going to be sold out again. Now, I don't work there anymore, but I can guarantee you that's going to happen. And I'm really looking forward to the Apple Card. I think that's going to be a big benefit. And the fact that you have your points right away is a big bonus. And I will absolutely be using the Apple Card to buy anything at Apple.com. Remember, the Apple Card is going to be used for your iCloud account. It's going to be used for your Apple Music subscription. Anything you pay monthly to Apple, you could put on that card and get more points using the card than you would anywhere else. So make sure that you sign up for that card when it comes out, and I'm sure it's going to be an update to push that. So that was the news for the week. But Tim and I did record something earlier in the week, and we're going to start off with a story from our retail store. And this is actually going to be my story. And you are not going to believe what this customer did.
I was told by AppleCare that I could walk in the store and get the part.
Will, I heard you have a retail story to share with us, which I kind of guess you have at least one story after, 11 and a half years there?
Got a couple.
Just a few bedtime stories.
Yes, sir. All right. So let's talk about one of my favorite stories. Now, this is during one of my holiday seasons, and I was a trainer at the time. The store is always busy during the holidays. If you ever go by one of the malls and you ever see an Apple store, it's busy. Other than back to school, which is going on right at the time of this recording, that's like the busiest time. So at that time, I was on the floor. I didn't have anybody to train. I found these bags, like it's Macy, Nordstrom, like really expensive stuff, and obviously they're gifts. So I took the gifts and I asked a bunch of workers if anybody worked with somebody with these bags, because I just wanted to see if anybody knew who they were. No one knew who they were.
Right.
So I went to my manager and I brought the items to the back. I went on my lunch, which we get an hour, and then I came back and I was in a one-to-one session when they had the one-to-one in the Apple stores. It was a training session, if you don't know what that was, someone came back and started screaming and causing a scene. And
no.
No one, I didn't know why, but you can hear them. When people scream in the Apple store, you hear them.
Oh, yeah.
And I tried to continue in my second, but he's arguing with an employee on who took his bags. And when I brought the bags to the back, I told one manager what I was hoping he was going to tell everybody, but he didn't. When this person came back, they were yelling at this manager who had no idea about any bags being brought to the back. So I had to excuse myself from my session and say, I told my manager, I think they're looking for the bags that I brought back. I decided to grab the bags myself. I gave the bags to the customer. He then accuses Apple trying to steal these bags away from us.
What?
He started yelling at me because of his irresponsibility of holding on to his stuff.
Right.
Now, that could have been the end of the story, but no, there's more. So on the floor is all the Apple products there for people to look at. He went up to one of the iPad Nano. This is the 3rd generation Nano with the video, the first time it had video on it.
Cool.
He took it off the security wire, he slammed it, and pulled it apart into 2 different pieces and left.
Oh my God.
And, of course, you know, one thing, you never approach anybody like that. You never do anything about it. And I couldn't believe that some customer would think that I stole something from them when they left it on the floor. Right. And then they come in and destroy our stuff. Like, it's unbelievable. So that was I'll never ever forget that story. I mean, you know,
he should be happy that another customer didn't walk away with those bags.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like the bags were actually stolen from someone else or somebody that was just walking by. The bags were there in the store still. Yep.
And there's also, you could look at the biggest video. I think it was like a French video where someone went to an Apple store. He took like a what was it, a dumbbell, and he started like banging on all the phones and breaking them. If you ever looked up that video, you know, that brought me back to that, because that's like, you can see him and no one's doing anything because, you know, again, you don't approach people like that. You know, it's, first off, it's not your stuff. So if it was your stuff, you probably would go up and punch him. But if it's Apple's stuff, you're not going to so much, there's no emotional attachment to it. And Apple's and Apple will do the right thing to take care of it. But yeah, that was my story. That was one of my very first like really bad customer stories.
Do you know if he bought anything that day?
No.
At the Apple store?
I don't recall. I'll be real honest with you. So that doesn't bring anything to my attention. I just remember bringing the bags to the back, and I can't believe the manager didn't tell anybody. I was a little surprised by that. If some of the old people at the store I worked at listen to this, they might remember that story. That stuck out. So that's the end of my story, but now it's time for Tim's turn. Now, Tim is going to bring up something personal. He's going to talk about his favorite Apple product and why he likes it the best. So we wanted to do something different.
Oh, it's so personal.
It's so personal. And we might get a little...
Might get a little... Hold on.
I have no idea where I was going with that. Okay, let's go to that track.
This is the day you have waited for. Ooh, come on now.
I've had experience with a lot of products, but there wasn't just that one product until this one that I'm about to describe that just immediately blew me away. The technology of it, everything that I was looking for, it didn't disappoint me at all. It met all my expectations. That is, ladies and gentlemen, the Apple Airpods. Now, I know the Apple Airpods have this whole social stigma that it's for, rich kids in high school, or you're only cool if you have AirPods in your ears. It's the standard in New York City to be walking around with AirPods. But I try to throw that all aside because I genuinely look at the technology behind it. At the time that the AirPods came out, which was in 2016, I was actually looking for completely wireless headphones. At that time, I was running half marathons. I don't run half marathons anymore, but at the time I was, and I wish I got back in shape to do it again. But I wanted these completely wireless headphones, and at the time in 2016, there wasn't anything like that. There was a lot of startup companies that was coming around that had these completely wireless headphones. There's ones that like the Beats came out with the Beats X, which is they're wireless and like wireless buds, but they're still connected by a wire. And a lot of wireless headphones try to get away with saying that they're completely wireless, but they still have that wire in the back. But I wanted no wires at all. So actually at the time when I was running, I was actually going to invest in this startup company. Not really invest, just give a buttload of money to this company called Ear that started up as a Kickstarter and then actually gained a contract with Best Buy. And they were actually going to sell them for $399. And I was like, wow, like that's really expensive, but they promised it was completely wireless. It was just two little buds that stuck in your ear and they connect via Bluetooth. And I was like, this is exactly what I want. You know, the price is a little high. You know, I was willing to pay for it because it was exactly the product I wanted. And I was looking at the Kickstarter reviews and everybody was very pleased with it. You know, it was well worth the money. And so I was like, okay, like this is a done deal. Like I'm going to save my money for these ear-in headphones. Then all of a sudden I'm reading on Mac Rumors because I was working at the Apple Store at the time about how Apple is coming out with these completely wireless headphones, and it was going to be called quote unquote the Airpods. And I was like, oh wow, should I hold out? I was hearing things. Then out of nowhere, the Airpods were announced when they weren't supposed to be announced, and I was like, what are these? And I was looking at the technology of it, the videos released, and I said, I need these today. So as soon as the Airpods came out, I purchased them, and I haven't looked back since. I actually... Were they easy to get at the time? The AirPods, because we worked at Apple, yes. Okay. But for customers, and specifically if they wanted to come up and buy them, it was a little bit more challenging. We were out of stock of them relatively quickly. And what was crazy about that as well is the price was only $159, which I was about to spend $399 on headphones, and now I'm only spending $159. It was almost a no-brainer. To the fact that I actually lost my AirPods, like the whole case, when I was at a carnival. I was on the ride The Zipper. You know that ride, Will?
No, but I don't go on kiddie rides.
Oh, sorry. I'm not your
boat. Right, I don't go on. Is that the Dragon ride where you go on the roller coaster that goes around and loop and come back?
No, but that ride slaps, man. No.
Okay.
That ride's awesome, man. No, so I lost it on the Zipper, and I never got them back. And so immediately the next day, I went back into Apple and bought a next pair because I couldn't foresee my life without it. I always wear them. They're always in my pocket. I bring them everywhere with me. I use them currently now for my job as my actual headset to make calls. So I use that. So let me break down why the AirPods are so great. It has this chip in this what do they call it? Oh, W1 chip. W1 chip. Now it's a W2 chip. Mm-hmm. But the first AirPods, first generation, have a W1 chip, which allows you to wirelessly connect to your iOS device, which allows you to wirelessly connect to your device. Typically, with a lot of Bluetooth headphones, you have to pair it within your Bluetooth settings and go through all these different things, like downloading an app for some headphones, blah, 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 blah. Apple allows you to just open your charging case and the headphones will automatically pair to the last device you were paired with. It's just so intuitive. It's amazing. It cuts down so much time and frustration with trying to set up wireless headphones that allows you to fully integrate and use it completely within the first couple seconds that you want to have access to it. Like I said, I use it for my job, and I could receive calls, and I don't have my AirPods in all day, and all of a sudden I could just put them in and take the call with a complete transition while I'm with the customer on the phone, and now I'm taking the call on my AirPods. It's just, the battery life is fantastic, the portability of it, everything about the AirPods is a home run for me, in my opinion. And it was at that product that not first Apple product, but in my opinion, the first Apple product that they released, and I had zero complaints about.
Yeah, this is the best product that's come out as far as intervention since, I can't even think the last product that I was like super overly like hyped for when it comes to this. AirPods are, so far to me as of right now, as of this taping, are the best new innovation product that Apple has out there right now. And for the price that they did was extremely, I think it's extremely fair. For wireless pair of headphones, people come to me like, if you're gonna get a wireless pair of headphones, if you want a good one, you're paying $100 or more, folks. I hate to say it.
Oh, of course.
No
doubt.
And there's definitely more expensive ones. Like right now, Studio 3s are $350, and for you college students, you get a nice chunk of discount right now if you want to go to the Apple Store and get that. But I'm surprised they didn't give AirPods for free.
That'd be cool.
That would have been awesome. I think that would even entice more people to buy it, because AirPods were so difficult. Holidays, guys, when the holidays come around, for whatever reason, that is the most popular product we had. We were sold out of it all the time. We were. Come on.
Yeah,
you worked there, Tim. I don't know if you remember. But you don't remember us being out of AirPods all the time? I know you were in the back more, but...
Yeah. I mean, I remember just directing people to the website to order because you'll get them faster than in the store.
Yeah, and then people came in and like, do you have AirPods? No. Like, and you went to Best Buy, they didn't have them. You went to Walmart, they didn't have them. Trust me, AirPods are the most popular holiday product, and that's 2 years in a row they've done that. This is a great product, honestly. It's really great. Now, I'm going to give you a little tidbit on your AirPods. You have a 1-year warranty on those things, right?
Yep.
Your battery may not last you till the end of the year. You might want to go to an Apple store before that warranty expires. Set a reminder.
Will with the inside facts.
Hey, I'm just letting you know that is something that I'm not the first person that did that. Let's just say I learned that from a customer. The trick from a customer. AirPods are great. If you don't have one, get one. And now they have the Beats Wireless. They came out with the same technology built in there. Just they're a lot bigger. I mean, let's ask you, because you're a runner. Would you now get the Power Beats, the new Power Beats with the same technology in it?
No, because I still don't want wires.
There's no wires in that. There's no wires in that.
Wait, it's just
the Power Beats Pro. The Power Beats Pro.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was still connected in the back. It's not?
Ladies and gentlemen, Tim is obviously not into the technology space here.
I got AirPods and I was done. I don't care about any other headphone.
They have the Power Beats Pro now, which have the same technology as AirPods, and they're the over-the-ear, but they're wireless, they're sweat and water resistant. They have the ear hooks now, and there's no wires on them. They're $250. They're $250.
Okay, so they're more expensive. So no.
Yeah, so there's a wireless charger in there. So you do the same charging technique. It's a bigger case though. You can't really carry that in your pocket.
Oh.
I will tell you that. But you have 9 hours of listening time. So it's like compared to like 5. It's a lot. So
that's
like one of the things, if I would have had the opportunity, I might get them as far as the Power Beats Pro. I think they did a good job, 'cause I like the Beats. I got the 2s. And then eventually I got the 3s because I thought they were my favorite headphones. And then when I finally bite the bullet and finally got AirPods, I was like, yeah, I'm going to stick with them. Yeah, I can tell you right now, Power Beats Pro or AirPods, go with them. They're the best wireless headphones out there.
Yeah, and like I said, I was training for half marathon at the time, and I do want to tell you, they stayed in the whole time throughout my 13.1 miles.
They don't fall out.
Yeah.
My favorite exercise with them is when I go ahead and then I do the floor and I mop it. I mop the floor. That's my favorite exercise to wear my AirPods in. I'm kidding. Or
I was like, what?
and then I use a thing called a vacuum, and it cleans things on the floor. I have my headphones in, listen to my podcast. I'm listening to our podcast, and then I clean the floor. That's my favorite exercise.
Clearly, guys, Will does not go to the gym.
That's right. I actually do yoga.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you do hot yoga or regular yoga?
Dude, what are you, your dirty mind. All right, so ladies and gentlemen.
Hot yoga.
It's dirty? You're asking me about my personal sex life, but I don't want to talk about it. So you're talking about all the positions. All right, that's enough of that. Tim is getting very dirty.
It's these AirPods, man. They just get me going.
Yeah. He's so personally attached to them. All right, guys. Well, that is the end of our episode this week. We have to get Tim to bed. He just needs to get his AirPods in his ears and go to sleep. So make sure you follow us at ThinkDiffPod on Twitter. Search us Think Different Podcast on Facebook, YouTube. Remember, we're on all platforms: Spotify, iTunes, TuneIn, and yes, Azune. If you wanted to go do that. So check us out everywhere. And what we're looking for is some Q&A. We want to get people to give us some questions. A couple ways to do that. The Think Different pod@gmail.com, or go to our website, thinkdifferentpodcast.com, and you can go to our suggestion spot right there. Suggest something that you want us to do, or just ask a question.
Yeah, and then we're also available all the time, actually, on social media. So if you reach out to us via there, we will also answer any questions or comments or anything that you want to share with us.
To make some great Bitmojis on our Instagram, so
Yeah.
check those out. They're hilarious.
Yeah, I hope everyone's liking them. The Bitmojis are fun to play with.
They're awesome. So thank you guys. We appreciate all your support. Let's make sure you share this. Make sure you rate it. We need you people to support us so we can become rich. We have bills to pay.
Yeah, I gotta keep the lights on, guys.
Gotta keep the lights on, man. You want this thing to stay free? Then you better give us some ratings. All right, buddy. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend. See ya.
Peace out.